Hello everyone, welcome back to Jessie Kate Creates. I'm Jessica and today's video is a project share. Just a quick note, I think I'll be doing more project shares in the next coming future, mainly just because I make a lot of projects that I don't end up sharing because I don't have time to film tutorials on them, or I'm making them really late at night when the lighting in the room where I craft at is just kind of terrible. But I really love the projects I make and I want to share them with you. So I think my way to do that will just be making more project shares. Of course, I'll still try to share tutorials when I have the time. But this card I'm about to show you is one where I did not have time to do a tutorial, but I absolutely love this card. So let me show it to you. And as I kind of go through this card, I'll show you all of the supplies I used. Although, of course, you don't need the supplies that I used to make a similar card to this. Look through your stash and see what you have that you can make work. Okay, so for this card, it's really cute, a little goat on a hill, and the sentiment says, "Over the hill, what hill, where, when? I don't remember any hill." So that sentiment is from the Just a Number stamp set from Close to My Heart. This is one of the stamp sets that I thrifted recently in that haul I shared with you guys. I'll link that video up here if you haven't seen it yet. But the fun, silly sentiments in this set is the reason I wanted it. So I was really excited to finally use this one on a card. Now, of course, because the sentiment talks about hills, I had to make some hills. So to do that, I used these dies. These are from Simon Says Stamped. They're called the Stitched Slopes and Hills dies. But you can make slopes and hills just by cutting curves and waves with scissors out of colored cardstock. So that's always an option too if you don't have those dies. Now, to give a little bit of interest to the card, I did do a little bit of ink blending on the edge of each of the hills. I don't know if you can tell that well on video, but you can definitely see it in person. And I did go ahead and pop those hills up on foam tape so that there'd be a little bit of dimension. Okay, for the background on this card, I wanted the goat to really stand out, so I wanted to keep the background really simple. I wanted it to be interesting enough that it didn't just look like blank space, but still simple enough that it didn't take away from the goat. So to do that, I used the Cloud Edger stencil from A Colorful Life Designs, and this is one of the stencils that I got to pick out for doing a little bit of guest designing for them. This is a nice stencil because you get both the positive and the negative to it, so you can use either side, and it makes more realistic looking clouds for your projects. So went ahead and used that stencil to make these soft blue clouds. And I'll also show you, for this, I do not have a lot of blues in my stash, like blue inks. So initially I was going to use this Pool Party blue that I recently picked up. You saw this one in that craft haul too, but it ended up making the clouds a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more green than I wanted them to be. I think this is still lovely. I think this, I might turn this into a sympathy card of some kind. If I do, I'll share that with you, but I just wanted to share that. So instead of using that blue, I ended up using this Daydreaming blue from Waffle Flower, and I liked that a lot more for a really fun, happy blue sky. So that was the background. And then for the goat, who's kind of the star of this show, I used the Simon Says Stamp Birthday Farm Animals stamp set. I picked this up in a D-stash I don't know, maybe 4 years ago. I think the stamp set is discontinued. I don't think they make it anymore. But again, you could kind of change up the sentiment a little bit and really use any animal for this card. But for my little goat, I colored him in with some Copic markers in different shades of gray, and then just put little bits of pink on his ears and his mouth. And that finished off my little goat. And then to add just a little bit more interest to the card, I did add some enamel dots. I decided to use some white ones because I wanted to add a little bit more interest to really draw your eye into the goat and the sentiment, but I didn't want them to take away from the background of the card, so I just used white ones that kind of blended in nicely to the clouds on the card. And I popped up the goat too. I don't know if I said that, so there's some dimension there as well. So that's the front of the card. And then for the inside of the card, I stamped happy birthday to an old goat and added a little stamp of the goat in gray. Now for this sentiment, I did have to combine the two stamp sets that I used. So the To an Old Goat is from the birthday animal one, and the happy birthday was from the Close to My Heart stamp set. But combining your stamps is a great way to get more mileage out of the things that are already in your stash. So that's what I did here. And then, like I said, I just stamped the goat on the bottom so that it kind of feels like you open the card and he's like jumping out at you to wish you a happy birthday. I thought that was fun. Now I did decide to make a coordinating card for this one, or a coordinating envelope for this card. And that was really simple. I just, once again, took my little goat stamp and added him to the front of the envelope, just in a kind of matching green color. I thought it just added a little bit of fun to the card. So that's my final project. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, this was a really fun card to make. I'm so sorry I couldn't give you guys a tutorial, but I hope this project share was enough for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it inspires you to get crafty and create some fun cards. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.